You're not being honest with us, are you? Senator John Kennedy delivered one of the most brutal Senate grillings in years. He put Judge Wise, a Biden nominee, on full blast for her radical statements and dodgy answers. The whole room was left stunned. We may be poor under President Biden, but we're not stupid. Kennedy wasn't pulling punches from the start. He listed Judge Wise's provocative, progressive articles. In 2017, Wise wrote in Time, "Gender laws are at odds with science." When Wise claimed she couldn't remember, Kennedy had the receipts.
Thank you, Senator Butler. Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Judge Wise, you're not being honest with us, are you?
That is incorrect.
Well, we all may be poorer under President Biden, but we're not stupid. We have a long list of your articles and your opinions and your political statements. On March 8, 2017, you wrote an article for Time magazine while you were a sitting judge. It's entitled, "Judge, Gender Laws Are at Odds with Science." I'm going to quote your words. "When legislators blur the lines of church and state and enact laws that permit or prohibit conduct based on biological gender as only male or female, they place an impossible burden on the judiciary." End quote. Did I read that accurately?
I do not know because I don't have the article in front of me.
Well, I do. You also said in that article, quote, your words, not mine, "Sex has countless natural permutations," end quote. Did I read that correctly?
I believe that is consistent with medical science and under the Daubert standard, the science that comes in as expert testimony in trials.
In October 2020, The Atlantic criticized President Trump's judicial picks. Not one of these judges is black. More than 90% are Christians. Kennedy's eyebrows lift. He presses, "How do you know that? Why should it matter?" The real shock, Wise's past advocacy for judges attending political protests. She once wrote, "No judge should be ethically constrained from taking action that reinforces constitutional and moral imperatives." Asked if she'd ever protested as a judge, Wise replied, "I do not believe that I have."
On October 13, 2020, while you were serving as a state judge, you wrote an article for The Atlantic entitled, quote, your words, not mine, "America's judiciary doesn't look like America." And you criticized this committee and President Trump for his judicial nominees. You said, quote, these are your words, not mine, "The judiciary crafted over the past 4 years does not look like America. Not one of these judges is black, and more than 90% were raised or currently identify as Christians." I don't know how you knew that. And then you say, quote, your words, not mine, "Identity is the lens that filters everything and everyone we encounter." End quote. Did I read that correctly?
Again, I don't know because I don't have the article in front of me.
I got it right here. You wrote another article on July 31, 2020 for the San Francisco Daily Journal, in which you advocate for the right of sitting judges to be able to go to protests, didn't you?
That is incorrect.
No, it's not. I'm looking at it right here. This is what you say. "No judge should be ethical," your words, not mine. You just said you didn't say them. You turned these articles over. "No judge should be ethically constrained from speaking or taking action that reinforces that constitutional and moral imperative. May judges participate in demonstrations that denounce racism, support equal justice, and reinforce our constitutional rights to free speech and peaceable assembly?" Yes. End quote. Did I read that correctly?
I don't know because I don't have the article in front of me.
If you're a federal judge, are you going to go to protests?
I would like to answer the substance of the underlying question that was asked.
I'd like you to answer my question. I've only got another minute or so. If you're a federal, let me put it another way. Have you ever gone to a protest, a public protest, while you're a sitting judge?
Senator Kennedy, the article that you are referring to
Have you ever
was
gone
written,
to a protest while you're a sitting judge?
I do not believe that I have ever attended a protest as a sitting judge, or perhaps ever in my life.
And you talk about GRILLS, Inc. You say you've never heard of them. You were on the, or you don't know that much about them. You were on the board from 2014 to 2024. You're still on their board, aren't you?
I'm not. My term expired this last month.
And you've given them over $50,000, haven't you?
I do not believe that is correct.
That's what your report says.
GRILLS Inc., the activist nonprofit with an eyebrow-raising definition of girls. Kennedy quotes their site. Girls means gender-expansive youth, cis girls, trans girls, non-binary youth. Judge Wise served on the board for 10 years, donating over $50,000. Yet she claims she didn't know what they stood for. If you're still with me, hit subscribe. Despite your political beliefs, will you let them influence your judicial decisions? Judge Wise insists she'll uphold the law. Her record shows 10 years of impartiality. Then Kennedy asks, do you believe in Bigfoot, the tooth fairy? The room goes silent. This is about the direction of America's judiciary.
And this is the same GRILLS Inc. that says, quote, on its website, here's how they define girls. Quote, girls refers to gender-expansive youth, cis girls, trans girls, non-binary youth, gender and non-conforming youth, genderqueer youth, and any girl-identified youth. Did I read that correctly?
I don't know. I've never heard of that policy or that definition
Right.
from
Never heard
GRILLS
of it.
Inc.
Listen, in spite of your, can I just have 30 more seconds? In spite of your strongly held political beliefs, and we've got all of them, all your articles, they're as long as King Kong's are you telling us today, do you believe that you will not allow your strongly held political beliefs to influence your judicial opinions? Do you believe that?
The best evidence of the type of federal judge I will be
Yes,
the
ma'am.
type of
Do you
judge.
believe that? Do you believe that?
It's the type of judge I have been for 10 years, who is one who always puts the law above my personal.
Do you also believe in Bigfoot? Do you believe in the tooth fairy?
Your time has expired, Senator.
Do you believe Jimmy Hoffa died of natural causes?
Senator Hirono.
This hearing was a masterclass in accountability. We need judges who respect the Constitution more than they push agendas. Should someone with strong political writings sit on the federal bench? Subscribe, and hit the bell for our next breakdown. Until next time, stay informed, stay bold.